It's 4:40 on WCCO Radio. Here is my brother Mark, who we've been talking to the last week or so as he follows the Cubs on their way to and through the World Series. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Hi, Johnny.
My brother went to Chicago from Denver, drove cross country to go be in the city, and then caught in the city and all of the fervor decided, I'll just go buy a ticket. Dropped $1,250 for some outfield seats. Best money he ever spent, he said. We'll get his wife's opinion on this next week. What did Becky say about that, by the way? Was that a conversation you had to have?
At first she's like, yeah, that seems like a really good idea.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said.
and then she said, then she got fired up for me because she knew this is a once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, but could be, has been so far a once in a lifetime opportunity. So she was all for it.
Yeah, I think if you can somehow pull it together, I understand one spouse going, I don't understand that, but if it's worth $1,250 to you, okay, fine. So you went to that game. And then after last night's game, you were contemplating driving to Cleveland. Where are you right now?
Well, I started down I-35, and I had about 3 different feelers out for tickets. So I was ready to turn left and head straight to Cleveland. But none of those panned out, and I didn't want. I'd offered $2,000 for a really good seat, which I'm really glad I didn't, because ultimately, when you're Wrigley, you're with 40,000 folks that all think and love and care and are ready to celebrate just like you. When you go to Cleveland, I'm not sure that's a very good idea.
Speaking of Cleveland, our Edgar Linares just walked into the studio from the WCCO Radio newsroom. You're a big Cleveland Indians fan, are you?
I am. I'm the very first Major League Baseball game ever went to was a Cleveland Indians game back when I lived in Arizona in the 2000s. And my wife, born in Akron, Ohio, huge Indians fan. Yeah. I mean, Kenny Lofton's her boy, and I understand exactly what your brother is talking about. That is Indians territory right there. And it is not a normal day for me right now. I am just stressed to the bones here, wanting to find out what's going to happen tonight. My wife is the same. I think she's on the phone too, that we have her. And
would you be able to say that you all have been enjoying this series?
Oh, no.
I feel the same way. It's just been too much. We're exhausted. We're drinking too much. We're not eating well. We're not sleeping right. This has been hard on us. Mm-hmm. Been hard. I suppose you feel the same way, right, Mark?
Well, I've said that, at the end of tonight, it's either going to be the worst day or the best day of my life. But either way, I'm going to end up curled up in the fetal position, sucking my thumb, crying.
Okay, so listen to this. Edgar said what in the newsroom today?
Okay, and my wife can back this up for me if she's on the phone here. I said that this would be a huge, heartbreaking loss, more for Cleveland than it would for Chicago. I said that. Yes, and I'm standing by that. And I have reasons behind that, too.
You think this would be harder for Cleveland to lose than it would be for Chicago to lose
by far.
Game 7? By the way, your wife Tana's on the phone. Hi, Tana. How are you? Oh, hold on a second, Tana. Let me switch you over to the other line. Hey, Tana, are you there?
I am.
Yeah, welcome to the show. We are big fans of your husband's.
Thank you.
And you, too. But Mark, my brother, the Cubs fan, who would this be harder on, the Cubs or the Indians to lose Game 7? That's what I thought.
I mean, we've lost. You guys won this year. You won the basketball championship. We've lost for 108 years.
What's the matter, Edgar? Okay. He's got a point there.
The Chicago Bulls dynasty, right, hun? Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Chicago has all these winning teams all the time. Yes, Cleveland, the Cavs won this year. Thank God someone finally won. But, I mean, come on. This city needs more than just the one win.
Mark? They live by their sports. They breathe by their sports, Cleveland. You got tourists that come to Chicago. You got culture. You got all these things. People say, hey, let's go to Chicago for the weekend, have some good time. No one says, hey, let's go to Cleveland for the weekend. Let's have a good... No one says that, okay? Yes, we have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I just think that Chicago would survive a loss more than Cleveland would. This is going to be it's going to be awesome because they're going to win tonight. But if they lose tonight, God forbid, it would just be terrible. It would be heartbreaking.
You guys are still high from the basketball championship. How can you ask for more? I thought you said these people were smart, John.
No, they are. They're really smart. They're terrific people. But they think that since you've got the museum campus, you had 3 runs with the Bulls. You've had 3 of last 6, 7 seasons of the Blackhawks. You had actually 2-3 runs with
there you go.
with the Bulls. So Chicago knows championships and doesn't need to get greedy. Mark your witness.
Yeah, no, that's fairly ridiculous because ultimately, when you've lost this long, you don't go, oh, well, guess what? Yeah, the Bears won in '86. Nobody cares about that. We haven't won in 108 years, and it's going to be the worst day of our life if we lose tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I disagree completely.
The fans are, I wonder, who's more wrapped up in it? Do we have any way of assessing that? Tana, do you have contact? Tana just clicked off. I think she just hung up on us. She can't take it anymore.
I think when it comes to, okay, you see around town all these Cubs people, even around here, you got Cubs fans, but where are the Indians fans? Where are they?
I don't see them. I don't see any
anybody
Indians
around
jerseys.
here.
I don't.
Who are the Indians fans? Who are they? They're the ones in Ohio. Those are the Indians fans. There's no one jumping on a bandwagon for the Indians right now. They're the underdogs, yet no one is cheering for them that I see around the community that I know of.
And your point is, therefore, the Indians need and deserve this more than the Cubs fans.
Yes, they do. Yes. And
So
all due respect to your brother, yes, they do.
I'm in Wrigley Field the other night. I go to the restroom. It's an hour before the game. There's 50 people in the restroom, and there isn't a word. I mean, there's not a conversation, not a whoop, whoop, nothing. These people are terrified that we're going to lose another game. They are so nervous because this is so important to the entire city of Chicago.
You hear that, Edgar? They're so worried in Chicago they can't pee. And you're trying to tell me that Cleveland deserves this more than Chicago.
I tell you right now, you go there, it's going to be the same thing. I feel that it's going to be the same thing in Cleveland. Those tickets that your brother's trying to get or tried to get, I bet you every single one of them went to a Cleveland fan who's been waiting, since the 40s to go to one of these games here.
All right. Edgar, who's going to win the game? Give me the score.
It's going to be Indians 3-1.
Mark?
Cubs 5-2.
Okay, fellas. Nice to visit with you both. I love you, Mark. Drive safely.
Bye, Mark.
Thanks.
I love you, Edgar.